Welcome back to Plan B Terraform. We just finished pumping the air full of poison in the last episode. Got temperature increased by 1 degree. I don't know really. Actually, let's look at the help article for temperature. Terraforming. Yeah. So, produce greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gas pressure and its influence on the temperature. Temperature is high enough, water will evaporate, rain, and form rivers. When the temperature is high enough and the soil is wet, trees will grow and spread. Check the local temperature. So it's actually localized somehow? Interesting. So maybe that's what the status bar in the bottom left has been showing me? It is. Is it warmer near the cities? It seems like it should be. But I guess not. Okay. You would think they're doing so much stuff that they would create some heat. But okay, whatever. Whereas like over here, yeah, it's all... Actually, it's warmer here for some reason. I saw like a minus 42 somewhere. It's minus 45 in the city. Anyway, so at the last episode, I mentioned that, oh, you know, this city has stopped growing. Why is that? Well, they're certainly backed up on concrete, so it must be oxygen. I gave them more oxygen. I realized in between episodes that I was misled by the big pileup of concrete, when in fact what they want is reinforced concrete, which is not piling up. So the city is not growing probably for that reason as well as the oxygen reason. I'm not going to try and address that right now. I don't need the city to grow. Oops. It is my next objective, but before I do anything with that, I want to figure out what's the deal with trains. So, a rail instead of a road. So I guess, okay, a rail is just a road that, like, a road is... Oh, interesting. So for one concrete, you get 4 roads, I recall. But rail, you need concrete and steel bar, but you get 8 of them. So it's like half as much concrete. Anyway, you put in 2 materials, and you get out twice as much materials, gets you out twice as much stuff, but it's better stuff, presuming that rail is better than roads. We have rail stop. Trains stop at rail stops in order to load or unload containers to or from depots. 1 line per stop. I guess that's what was mentioned in the truck stop thing that I had asked about in the past, right? 1 line per stop, yeah. So for every point-wise, you can't have a truck stop that accepts multiple different things. We knew that already. It is advertised here. I just always forget it. And the same is true for rails. Come back. And then trains. They move fast, but accelerate and decelerate slowly. So they cost, I mean, they're expensive. 4 high-tech parts and 4 mechanical parts. Okay. And it was mentioned, I think, in the Steam reviews that rail has an additional constraint that it can't do like a U-turn at the end the way they do at truck stops. You have to build like a loop that they can just go straight through and the road turns for them. That doesn't seem like a big constraint compared to trucks, but I imagine it's something. So, why are trains so much better? What is so much better about trains? It's hard to tell, right? It says they transport a lot of containers. I guess that's something. If I look back at trucks, does it say anything about that? Trucks transport containers. They move slowly but load and unload quickly. So these move quickly, but accelerate and decelerate slowly. Huh. So we could work on growing this city, but that would require a bunch more trucks and like making more reinforced concrete and whatever. Since we have this very long line bringing reinforced concrete in, I don't really want to renovate that all with... I don't want to emphasize this city. I'd like to go look at another city and see about setting up a train network to bring them the reinforced concrete that I presume they desire. Yeah. Which city, like... Reinforced concrete is just sulfur and iron, right? So... we could take advantage of the fact that rail is happy to travel long distances and build a rail line from this iron to this sulfur to the city, right? I still don't... I'm not 100% confident how trains are going to interact with sharing rails with multiple routes. Because I sort of imagine, like, what I should have done at New Ahmadabad is, you know, ship... Well, I guess I did do it. I just could have done it better, right? I shipped from... No, I didn't, actually. I assembled, without using any trucks, the reinforced concrete in one place, because there happened to be a nice place where they overlap, and then I just shipped it straight to the city. I could have grabbed some concrete, shipped it up here to some iron, combined it to make reinforced concrete, and then carried on. I imagine doing that over here for Ho Chi Minh City. Grab some iron, turn it into steel bars, ship the steel bars, or wait, actually what does reinforced concrete? Does it need steel bars or not? I've forgotten now. Ah, no, where did I put you? Come back. Reinforced concrete, yeah, it wants steel bars, not just iron. Okay. So we could make steel bars and ship those. Along the way, pick up... Well, not along the way. Drop them off where the sulfur is. Construct reinforced concrete on site, and then ship that. And it would be kind of cute if that were just one rail line that reused, like, I don't know. There's not really anything else that needs to travel along that line right now, but maybe in the future there could be. And it would be nice if we just had like one straight line that went through here, kind of conceptually all the way through here, and stopped off at the sulfur. But I don't know exactly how building rails is all going to work. So the only way to find out is to get going on it, I guess. So we need to start building the components for rail, which, remind me again? Concrete and steel bar, very easy. Concrete and steel bar, very easy. The tricky one is trains, mechanical parts, and high-tech parts. However, we need a lot of train tracks. Although, I mean, I guess actually trains are more likely to be the bottleneck, because we really did not run out of roads. And we're gonna make... Well, we're gonna make the trains go pretty far, I guess. So, there's somewhere around here that we have concrete... And, yeah, right here, right? It's the same stuff as makes... reinforced concrete. You can instead make rail out of, I guess. So that's sort of interesting. Maybe I could reuse this development a little. If I, like, let's throw in some Really? I have 3 extractors? I guess I need to do something about wherever I put my dang extractor factory over here. I mean, it's still running, right? I've just kind of developed a healthier appetite than I thought for extractors. Okay, well, let's just build another assembly line for it then. Make some more steel bars. Depot for the steel bars. And assembly plant for extractors, please. And as soon as we get a few more extractors, I guess kind of the existence of Depot Mark IIs has kind of increased my appetite for extractors because I can easily place a bunch of them for whatever new mining project I have in mind. Here's some more I can use that were sitting idle. And, okay, let's think about ratios again, I guess. Am I making so much iron that I don't need more of these, or, like... This can consume 60, which is... Only 4 of these can be handled by this, huh? So if I'm building... I don't know, I mean... Just throw another couple in there. Ah, but they're not in range of this depot. Hang on. Didn't you just drop off a thing here? How did you do that? Am I imagining that? They shouldn't have been able to reach. They must have dropped it off here and I just missaw. Okay. Let's make this a Depot Mark II. Four, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's enough to satisfy all these factories. These 3 factories are making 90. This consumes 36. So 3 of these, right? I mean, it's not a perfect balance, but it's close enough. And that ought to keep me satisfied on extractors for a little while, I think. Until this stuff starts running out. I mean, each extractor costs 3 steel bars. And each steel bar costs 3 iron. So an extractor is 9 iron. This thing has 400 iron under it, so... That's around 40 extractors, and I just put down 12 of them. So it's many, many, I don't know, a few hundred extractors that I have supply for here, I guess. And are we, is it possible that the depots are not, that this one depot just can't handle this much throughput? Because I see iron just lying on the ground here. But I don't know, they got to it. I think they're doing okay. Meanwhile, any progress on these charts? Oh my god, look at that. Okay, so it does, well... I was going to say it's leveling off, which I guess is true. But this is a log scale graph, so even linear growth would look like it's leveling off, right? So I don't actually know if there is some feedback, like if we're going to eventually flatten out. I assume so, right? There's some, you know, if you're putting X amount of gas into the atmosphere every year, you know, the more you put out, the more, I guess, would tend to leak out of the system due to, I don't know, solar winds or some shit. I'm not an astrophysicist, but whatever makes stuff leave a planet, or whatever the gaseous version of evaporation is or something, breaks down due to solar radiation. I don't know. But I think there's something that causes the gas to dissipate or not exist anymore. And I imagine the more gas you have in the atmosphere, the less impact there is of adding more, but I don't know. Maybe not. It's hard to tell from a log scale graph anyway. And the temperature has gone up a little bit more. It's now minus 55, so that's nice. And these three are all working at once. This is... I don't think they should all be completely saturated, because they're capable of consuming slightly more than we can produce. But yeah, I mean, it looks like all the extractors are working full time. The depot is not getting overclogged. Stuff is mostly running most of the time. I think this was a reasonably set up... Not the most efficient, but fine. And it's giving us plenty of extractors to work with for the project we actually wanted to do, which was get a rail network started. Over... where was it? Here. So I was looking at just expanding this a bit, right? To make more things, different things. So let's just slap in some extra extractors. And we want... I guess more extractors over here as well, right? Oh, that one's not even in range. Get out of here. Ooh, a little framey. Yikes. Hopefully just some transient thing. Yeah, we're back to looking good here. Okay. So we want a steel bar. Remind me again, it's steel bar and concrete, right? Yeah. So let's build a factory for concrete. Here-ish seems fine. I know we already have a factory for concrete here, but we want another one. And also a factory for steel bars. Where are steel bars? There they are. I thought they would be orange. They're not. And that is sufficient to make both rail and rail stops. So let's put in 2 assembly plants. No. We need depots first. I guess we'll use Depot Mark IIs. We have loads of them. So that's for steel bars. And that's for concrete. Now we want an assembly plant for rail and an assembly plant for rail stops. The trains are going to require more work. But this was an easy extension to start getting us a decent chunk of rail. I'm not sure quite how much. But like, shouldn't this be saturated? Right? It can consume 90 iron, which is 6 of these, and this also consumes 90. So if we have 12 iron, we're saturated. That's 5, 10, 12, yeah. So I think these are both saturated. These two, I'm not sure. It looks like this one's sucking up all the steel bars, right? Which is fine. We want more rail than rail stops. And occasionally the rail stop gets some... Yeah. It looks like there's a backup here, so we're supplying more of everything than these two inputs can... these two factories can consume. So we made 23... Oh. I was like, what? 23? That's crazy. We make them 8 at a time. But I guess it doesn't. It gives you out 1 rail 8 times throughout the process, rather than giving you 8 rail at the end. Weird, but fine. So, I'm a little bit tempted to... well, to do a couple of things. Like, I could put another steel bar factory here, which seems like it would speed this up a bit. Because, well, no. I mean, right now, these two factories are completely... they are the bottleneck. Adding more inputs to them won't help. But I could add another rail factory to get rail faster. And to do that, I would want to add more, like, inputs. And I could add... but I don't know. Here's hoping this is enough. I'm going to go figure out how to make trains. It probably will not be enough. I want... yeah, I don't know. I'm going to want a lot of rail, aren't I? This being completely full is a bit of a surprise to me. I would have thought that... I don't know. Here, have another factory. Maybe that'll help. You have one too, why not? Throw in some more rail. So, my dream is that this will speed things up. It might just mean that we never make rail stops ever again because we're too busy making rails, and if that happens, I'll have to come revisit. But I can just make stuff here faster without thinking much about it by throwing in, like, another depot here for raw iron. And some more extractors around it so that these factories remain fed. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's probably making rails pretty fast. Okay, so... trains, which were high-tech parts and mechanical parts, right? Ugh, but I can't look at it there. I gotta, like... alright, let's just look here. Mechanical parts and high-tech parts, yeah. So, quite expensive. Where was I making? Here, right? This is the other place where I was using high-tech... well, the only place so far that I'm using high-tech parts. And... I mean, I have high-tech parts here, and I have mechanical parts here, and it looks like the mechanical parts are the bottleneck, so I don't really have to work that hard on... I could reuse some of this infrastructure, I guess is what I'm saying. I'll want to give myself more mechanical parts, since we're currently limited on those. What are we even making here? Greenhouse gas. Actually, like, don't we have a shitload of that stuff? Yeah, we have just make trains. I did it. I figured out how to make trains. It was easier than I thought. Actually, I think... so, we said that each of these consumes 30, which is... well, it consumes 90 iron, which is 6 of these. So the ratio is 6 to 1. And I believe... let's actually do a little experiment here. Just don't build anything, please. How many spaces are there within range 2 of... actually, let's make this a depot or something. 6 plus... it's hard to even... 3, 6, 9, 12? Is that right? Yeah. So there are exactly 18 hexes within range 2 or less of a depot. Of any hex, rather, but in particular of a depot. One thing this means is that if we want to have enough mining capacity for exactly 18... if we want to have 18 extractors... Well, yes, you can put them all on one depot, but not if you want that depot to go anywhere else. It needs a connection outside, right? So that's kind of relevant because 18 is exactly... Well, 6 is how many it takes to supply a factory of this stuff, right? So if we wanted to fill 3 factories, we would need 18 miners. But we can't do that and also have the factories within delivery range. Well, let's make this a Mark II. So how are we doing on trains, by the way? It's impossible to know. We're making some. It looks like there's a backup here. Let's just add a couple more of these guys. Or one more? I don't know. 2 more. Why not? So, this kind of highlights that now, really, the high-tech parts are the actual bottleneck. I don't know how many I'm making, but I only assigned 3 trucks here. Wasn't I making like 45? Let's just try delivering that many, see how it goes. See if we get too backed up here. This is a hellish traffic circle. No one even takes this route. When I said to build from here to here, and this road already existed, it chose to build this road, but then didn't route the trucks over it? Are you insane? Like, this is fine. You know, this connection doesn't really need to exist because no trucks ever go like this, but I understand why they drew it. I don't understand why it drew me this completely crazy, unused segment. I understand, right? They're just like the routing, the thing that decides how to place roads is not the same as the thing that decides which roads to use. And so they made decisions that weren't aligned with each other. Whatever. So we're making trains, and I mean, things actually look sort of balanced. I guess we're probably limited on high-tech parts now, or maybe on this. Let's just throw in another factory. Who knows? Maybe that's what I needed. Probably not. I probably don't have enough input capacity to satisfy both of these. But just in case I do, why not? Yeah, it seems like I'm actually bottlenecked on trucks here. I don't know, let's throw in some more trucks. So, hopefully those are the last trucks I ever build, because I have rail now, and supposedly that's way better. Although, obviously a lot more expensive than trucks, if we cared about that, which I don't know, maybe we do. Look at them go. I just love watching the little guys be industrious. Okay, so note now, we're actually starting to deplenish the stockpile at this depot. That kind of tells me that trucks are no longer the limiting factor. Our ability to produce this stuff might be. Although, I guess we actually did fill it back up, right? So maybe it's pretty close? I don't know. I think there's about to be a lot of trucks taking stuff away. So who knows? Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're making trains. Yeah, we have tons of rail and rail stops and presumably sufficient trains. So what I wanted to do was take this city in the north. No? City in the south? No. This city. This was the one that I wanted to supply using trains. Reinforced concrete. So, let's set up a little mining operation here. I wish this shadow would go away. So here's my depot for iron. And let's have a we have, I think, 3 factories for steel bars, as we discovered is about right for what you can do easily with a Depot Mark II. And steel bars. Now we build a rail stop, our first rail stop. Uh-huh. So, what's the deal here? Are they allowed to go through this? Or what? I don't... It looks like they're not allowed to turn around. Which, I mean, it's what I was told in the Steam reviews would be the case. But let's just set up... before we do anything drastic, set up another rail stop here. A stop must have 2 and only 2 rails connections. Must be able to reach the 2 stops without sharp turns and always going forward. Okay, so it's lit up red to tell me it's unhappy. Must have 2 and only 2 connections. What does that mean? Oh, the stop needs 2. So it's complaining there's no... Okay. So if I were to... do like... So this one now is happy. This could be part of a network, right? Yes, this is a legal train network, I believe. So set your destination to here. Okay, I'm confused. You set your destination to here. Deliver steel bars. That's one train, huh? Okay. So there's nobody to pick up the steel bars, but let's imagine that there were, right? Okay. So we have succeeded in making a train network to nowhere. Fine. I just wanted to make sure I understood how all that worked. So I'm still not clear yet on whether you can have multiple different rail stops sharing the same rail network, or whether they really have to be strictly point to point. Let's put a rail stop there that goes that way. Those are roads? So is that a legal turn? No, that's a junction. Okay. So let's, like, get to here. Ish. Still a decent number of rails left. God, it has to be able to turn around. It has to be able to go the other way. So, I mean, that's easy to do. It just looks kind of stupid, doesn't it? No, we don't have to build a rail going the other direction, do we? Let's find out. So here's what I should have tested earlier. Rail stop here. Build me some more rails. So what I want to know... We know we can do that. Can I do this? Is this allowed? If I say I want a depot Mark II here, let's say, for steel bars. Must have 2 and only 2. Oh, it connects back up here. That's not allowed. Sure, I didn't mean for that to be an important part of the connection, but you're upset it exists. That's fine. Ah! So you're happy. I want your origin to be here. Now this one, item name cross, item desk dot cross. Okay, something's a little wrong there. This is a rail stop though, right? I see the little thingy out the bottom. So it's also not fully connected up. But I just want to know, like, is that allowed? This looks like a rail stop, isn't it? I don't know, I'm gonna bulldoze it and put a rail stop back in because I'm confused. Okay. So this looks happy as well. So set your destination to here. Bringing steel bars. Is this permitted? Will you do this delivery for me? The train is loading up. It looks happy. Yeah, it's found its route, which is to go like this. So... Oh, I see. And I thought that these were the two kind of... You know, when a train is on a rail, it's got a left wheel and a right wheel. I thought these were the slots for the left and right wheel, the kind of rails. But each of these is... I don't know if it's a monorail or two rails together. But this is a two-directional road. Okay. Cool. Look at it go. It is moving at a pace. Interesting it didn't get fully loaded up. Were we... Do we need more depots so that there are more drones who can load it more quickly? That's interesting. I thought it would stop and wait till it was full or something. So here our capacity is only 40 per year, which is not very much. But we could add more trains. Okay, speed up time a bit. Get over here, train. I want to see... Oh, hang on. Pause. I haven't built the depot. Depot Mark II... I mean, I haven't actually got a good place for it. Let's say here. For steel bars. Okay, train's coming into the station. How much does it slow down? What is the deal here? It seems to slow down. Okay, I mean, they succeeded in unloading a bunch of iron. Or steel. And I could, like, put 2 of these in here to unload more quickly. Now, each steel bar is one oh my god, that shadow, please. Is one reinforced concrete. And these guys are going to want, like, a ton of reinforced concrete, right? If we look at New Ahmadabad? Ahmadabad? Ahmedabad? I'm not sure. I mean, they want 56 concrete, and I'm sure that if I gave them that much, they would ask for more. We had them wanting 68 at some point. So, these guys would happily take way more than 40 per year. Oh, has the pickup happened yet? Because I want to know if they actually, like, does the train go... Where's the train? Here it is. Does the train slow down long enough to be loaded all the way, or do I need multiple depots to handle this? It doesn't look like it's waiting. It's weird that they're able to go so far, because part of the train is still here, even though it's not the part they're loading, I guess. Okay, so to do that, you need multiple depots, or like depots closer to the train station or something. So I could put like multiple level 1 depots here, for example, to get loaded into, maybe? Would that work if I did that? I mean, I could use level 2 depots for this as well. Yeah, somehow it has figured out that these are the ones that actually want the steel bars, because this is producing demand pressure. That's the only way I can imagine doing this, is having this generate demand pressure, and these two know they're connected to something with demand pressure. So this, which has no other source of demand pressure, says, oh, I better move my steel bars over here. Okay. And for example, you know, if we wanted to, we could put even more... Like, I mean, I don't know. We have 1 billion level 2s. I should use them, right? That gets stuff moved more quickly. Oh, no, look at that! It isn't really about demand pressure, is it? Because it looks like it's decided instead to try to evenly distribute among this group of 3 depots. How weird is that? Okay. I like my idea of demand pressure and supply pressure, but maybe there's some reason it doesn't work out well. So okay, we could add 1 train to this route and it would supply like more reinforced concrete than I know what to do with. Provided I could unload it quickly enough. Yeah, and it also is noteworthy, by the way, that on this side we have 1 Depot Mark II unloading. And on the other side we had, at the last trip, 1 Depot Mark II loading. But the unloaders clearly were way faster. They could have unloaded a bunch more stuff before the train left. I think there are 2 reasons for that. One is they're just closer to the train. And so they have fewer trips to make to deliver the same amount of product. The other, I think, is the the layout of the train station itself. Like, I don't know, maybe not. I guess while the train is coming in, while it's up here, they're not allowed to start loading it yet because it hasn't gotten to this space. Maybe? I'm not sure exactly, but something like that could be true. Okay, well, we figured out trains today. I don't think I'm going to do the reinforced concrete yet. I think now is a decent time for a break. But tomorrow, we should be able to make a bunch of reinforced concrete and see if it's possible to put... Well, I don't need another train on this line, really, right? I can just start a different line. But because the rail lines are two-way, they have 2 separate sides, there shouldn't be any issue of trains colliding with each other head-on, and I assume they're allowed to pass through each other orthogonally, or, well, not orthogonally because it's hexes, but obliquely, the same way that trucks are. So probably multiple trains can use the same rail network with no problem. And they'll back up behind each other, maybe, if the track is completely full for a single route, but I can't imagine that would happen. Because they don't seem to stop to wait to be loaded or unloaded. Anyway, an issue for another time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.